When people ask me where I'm from, I tell them to golf, and they're usually really surprised that there's even surf there. So if I show them a video or show them a photo of actual being a wave, they're usually pretty surprised, wow, it actually gets fun.
When I first started surfing when I was a kid, around here there was not a lot of people that surfed. It was always the same guys at the same spots. And as time went on, surfing got more popular. There was more stuff going on that was more surf related. You didn't feel like such a weirdo coming from St. Pete being a surfer. On any given day, if you go out to our beaches, it's flat as a lake. So when it does happen, everything is out the window.
So when you get them, you don't take them for granted. You stay out and surf all day and you try your hardest, and you learn how to make the most out of any situation you have. Any wave, you're trying to just milk it for everything it has.
In the winter, the waves are usually just coming out of the north. It's just victory at sea. And if you're lucky, you can get a little leftover swell the next morning when the wind turns and goes offshore. If we get waves in the summer, it's usually out of the south. It's longer period swell. Water's warm. It's gonna be a hollow wave, fast sections. And if we catch it just right, it'll be a beautiful beach day. When it does work, it's one of the best places you can surf, if you ask me. So whether you're on the beach or downtown, there's plenty of places to eat or drink. One of our favorite places out by the beach is called Grove Surf and Coffee. Go in there, get a coffee, shop around, get a fit, and then head to the beach. So if you're downtown, you can start your day at what's called Intermezzo, and you can go in there and get a coffee, or you can hit them up in the afternoon for happy hour and get one of the best cocktails in town. Whether you're a surfer or a kiteboarder, boat days are a staple to the culture around here.
Back in 2008, 2009, that's kind of when I got into the sport. And you'd show up at Skyway and there could be a couple kites, maybe on a given windy day, more kites. From then to now, it's grown so much. There's 50, maybe 100 kiters out on any given day. My name's Drew Christianson. I own Best Pro Kiteboarding. My shop used to be really out of my van. So we had the Best Pro Kiteboarding van. We just would roll up to the beach, all the gear's in it. Some stuff for sale, but mostly, lessons was our focus. A lot of people get into kiting and then just kite for fun. And I always wanted to be, from a little kid, I always wanted to be a pro. But for me to do that, I couldn't just afford the gear. So I kind of naturally got into teaching. Kind of helped pave the way for me to be able to really get into the sport, pursued being a pro, eventually joined the world tour. A lot of people have moved down to Florida and St. Pete in general. The word's kind of out that this is a gem of a place to be. It's a different community. It really is. It's quite unique and it's special. And sometimes I think you take it for granted a bit until you travel and get to see other spots and realize the community you have back home. And That's honestly why I ended up settling here and opening up a shop. We've been here for over 7 years.
You know, since we live on the peninsula, you can ride in every wind direction. And St. Pete is traditionally a windy spot. You know, Florida is also just a windy location in general, but the peninsula is littered with different locations to go and actually kiteboard. Any east wind, we're basically in the Tampa Bay. And then any west winds, we're essentially in the Gulf of Mexico. Other places in Florida, for instance, like the East Coast, you don't really have that opportunity. If there's a west wind, you really can't kiteboard because the wind blows offshore. So great for surfing, but terrible and dangerous for kiteboarding. It's what makes kiteboarding in St. Pete extremely versatile, is having both those options for essentially all wind directions. I grew up kind of close to downtown, so I really enjoy riding in that area.
You're literally kiting downtown in a city. So it's amazing scenery. There's not many places in the world that you can kite next to a city. So it shaped my career in the sense of the riding areas and the flat water, and any wind direction can work.
As far as rideable, enjoyable days surfing, there's not that many. Whereas rideable, enjoyable days kiteboarding, they happen all the time. So you can ride probably up to 200, maybe 230 days a year. So one of my best friends, Sam Light, who's from England, he's multiple-time UK national champion. He really loved the conditions, obviously, but then he was really excited about just the city in general. You know, I remember asking him at the end, he was always like, oh, St. Pete is one of my favorite cities in probably the whole country. A little bit of pride for the hometown, you know. St. Pete's it's a cool place.